What is up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond. I'm back with my own new review of The Never Met. So we got Charlie and Jared. After the bomb that she dropped about revealing that she has 4 kids, and in those 4 kids, she just gave birth to a brand new baby girl. Jared just revealed his bomb that he just had a kid too, a 6-month-old baby boy. The audacity of these people, okay? And Charlie, you are in no position to think that what you were hiding is any less worse than what he was hiding, because both of y'all are wrong. You are way even more wrong, because how are you a mother who wants to hide and lie about having multiple children, and you just came on a show after just giving birth a month ago? Girl, you're breastfeeding, you're pumping throughout the time of you being here. You should not be here. It's audacity of you. And Jared is talking about having 2 kids is enough. And it sounds like he can barely handle himself with raising 2 kids. So finding out that Charlie has 4 kids, he's concerned about being able to take care of everybody. That's not on his agenda. And with what he said, now Charlie wants to feel a way about, oh, so he's reneging. He doesn't want this family. Probably not, because he meant that not having multiple children was not on his agenda. Because he said there's a lot on his plate right now. Yeah, it's a lot on your plate, as well as it's a lot on her plate too, having 4 kids. So my thing is this: if you're already trying to count that it might be a lot to spend on having a lot of kids in one household, then what are you doing? Do you have enough money? Do you have the means to take care of yourself and the kids you already have? If that's the case, you shouldn't get involved with this woman, because I don't know if her situation is squeaky clean either. But he said, I'm going to try to be there for you. And that's all Charlie's expected for him, is to just try. Try what? You think in 3 weeks, this man is going to be excited about becoming a family of 8? In 3 weeks, y'all going to really have enough time to understand what it is that y'all going to come together about? No. So I'm thinking that, what about the significant partners that these people have had kids with? Who is the woman you had the child with, though, Jared? What was the relationship with this person? The same with Charlie. What is your relationship with your baby daddies? What's going on there? Like, it's crazy as hell to me. This type of situation is not real. Is this real? I'm gonna move on. So we move on to Irvin and Alicia. They're cuddled up in her bed, which I can see that Alicia is not really comfortable with. And all Irvin wants to do is just express that he wants to be affectionate towards her. And I think Alicia says she's a traditional girl, meaning that she's willing to wait until she's married to have sex. But Irvin said it's not about us wanting to have sex. It's all about us showing affection towards one another, how we hold each other, how we cuddle with one another. Like, we can show intimacy without being intimate. And Alicia goes on to say in her confessional that she was diagnosed with a autoimmune condition in March of 2022. And it was pretty much a choice whether she wants to die early or she wants to live a long life. And she chose to live a long life. She cut her hair. She went through a spiritual journey. She worked out. She's eating better. And that's how she wants to treat her body, with respect, with care. And she wants to be around someone who appreciates that, and she doesn't want to rush being physical. So she wants to wait until that person is deserving of her body in that way, which I can understand that. And he doesn't want to rush things. He wants things to happen naturally, but he does feel like that Alicia puts up a wall in regards to not being physical, because they still haven't kissed. He feels the sexual attraction, but he's thinking that he likes her more than she likes him. And I have a question. Why come on a show to express that you have feelings with someone, but you come with all of these expectations and requirements and boundaries that he's supposed to just get, which I'm not sure if they were ever brought up before, but I'm all about you protecting your peace, protecting your body, and making sure that the right person comes along that you give yourself to. But to come on a show that has a rush process of expecting for couples to show affection, to show how much they really like one another, this isn't the show for you, Alicia. This is not the show for you, because I understand your patience. I understand you have a way of doing things, but you cannot operate in that mindset of being on this type of show. 'Cause you stopping Irvin from allowing him to express how he feels and in the 5 months of y'all talking is not going to work. But moving on from there, all the couples go outside where Taronda Jones, their host from the first season and the second season, she is the love expert. She's the one who brings other people in to provide challenges, to provide different types of deep conversations. And knowing that while they're here, majority of the time that they're here, each couple is going to cook for the house. And she did make an announcement that the intimacy lounge or the intimacy suite is back and ready for business. So no more getting to know one another in the shower. Okay. So you guys can, get to know your partners more comfortably in the intimacy suite. Their first challenge is to do a body painting activity where it is supposed to be a different way of expressing intimacy that are able to be achieved outside the bedroom. And this is also an activity where it's regarding consent, where a partner has to ask if certain things are okay, if certain things are uncomfortable, if certain things are comfortable. Are you okay with me doing this? Which is very important. Brittany's feeling a bit self-conscious because she's not comfortable with showing her body in front of strangers, and she does feel a bit of the baby weight of having her son, which her son is 3, but I can understand baby weight can be hard to get off. But I don't know if Ty will feel away about your body because he's liked you since he first saw you, and I don't think he'll feel away. So each couple is taken into the challenge, especially Kiki and Brandon. Brandon was completely submissive over Kiki asking him if it's okay if I do this and do this. He was okay with it. He liked it. And he felt like this challenge made them a bit closer. I love that. I love that Brandon can be gentle, he can be soft, and still show his masculinity at the same time. He found nothing wrong with her asking if she can do this, if it's okay if I touch you here. I love that. Alexis, baby. Alexis was so touchy feely and so gropey with Chris. I mean, she literally had her hands down this man's pants from the front to the back. She's on her knees, reaching up in front to touch the tip of his scrotum. Okay. And she did all of that without even asking Chris if it's okay if she can touch him there, put paint here, draw this there. She didn't do any of that. She just took matters into her own hands and started to do what she wanted to do. And Chris is not enjoying Alexis taking things into her own hands, taking control over things that he was not agreeing to, because he noticed that she's on a power trip when they did their FaceTime call, that her boyfriend had a wandering eye when they were driving and didn't like the way that he was solely focused on watching a girl's ass walk away, that she had her fist out waiting for him to turn so she can punch him. And I'm like, that's your go-to? Your go-to is to promote violence when you see your man having a wandering eye. Newsflash, men have wandering eye. But if you feel so insecure that a man can probably glance at another woman's ass bothers you so much, then why are you here? If you think that every little thing is going to bother you in regards to how he feels about you, like, that makes no sense. Like, that's annoying to me. I think Alexis sometimes likes to create issues so that way she can act on them without her communicating and expressing. Sometimes I don't like the way you do things, but she. So while this couple, a lot of people did take into the challenge and a lot of people really didn't. And when it was Alicia's turn, she was a bit cautious of having Irvin touch part of her body because of her autoimmune condition. And I understand that. I get it. But it's vice versa now, where the other partners are either blindfolded or they want to see if they can see their partners paint them. And I think Jay and Cinco had a moment where he recognized that she calls her son a certain nickname, and now her son is the most important thing to her. She loves that Cinco paid attention to what matters to her, which is a good thing. Um, when it came to Irvin and Alicia, he was expressing on calling her, I think his queen or something. But as far as him expressing how she's a strong individual, and he was about to reveal that she does have an autoimmune condition, but he stopped himself and told a whole different story. And about how she looked beautiful on their first date and that she looked like an angel. So she did give him brownie points for recognizing that she was not comfortable with telling her story. And she is a bit scared of telling her story. When it was Jared and Charlie's turn, he painted her like a zebra because obviously Charlie is mixed with black and white. There are times where people didn't think she was black enough. Then he put Black Queen on her because that Charlie was so willing to get this man tattooed on her when she has not met him in person. She has not seen how he is. Girl, you stupid. Why would you be so eager and ready to get a man's name tattooed on you, but yet you find it hard to reveal you have multiple children? Like, make that make sense, but okay. Um, I enjoyed this activity. I enjoyed the way some of the couples took advantage of the situation to get to know their partners in a different way. So now it's time for dinner to be served. It is Ty's and Brittany's turn to cook. And Ty already took control on how he wanted to prepare food. He was talking about salmon and rice pilaf. So Ty definitely shines when he's in the kitchen. So when preparing everything, Alicia comes in and is requesting to have her veggies be in vegan butter or a different type of oil because with her journey of eating differently, she took on different forms of food. And Brittany was okay with providing her a separate pan of veggies with the butter she requested, but Titus took over and said, "We're not doing that," because I think in that time, Alicia was expressing the way she wants it to be handled. Like, don't drown the veggies in oil, don't let them swim in it, just let them be lightly marinated because certain butters make me have a bit of mucus. So, the way that Alicia just kept going on and on about why she can't have this particular butter over her food, I think that's when Ty got frustrated with her demanding so much out of a meal because he said, "I'm making food for everybody. So I don't have time with people coming in and out and asking me to prepare dishes a certain way because at the end of the day, that's not what I'm here for. I'm just doing my job." And I think that Alicia felt like a bit shocked in the moment because she's like, "Why are you yelling at me? Why are you barking at me? Like, why are you doing this?" And it's like, okay, Alicia, this is where I can see where you can be a bit manipulative in moments because Brittany was willing to accommodate you, but I think the way you added on to how you wanted it to be prepared for you might have been a bit nervy. Okay. And Ty is like, "Listen, I'm not making food for her. I'm making food for the whole house. And also, if my woman has a specific way of having her food prepared, I'll do that for her because that's my woman." Okay. And in my mind, I don't think it would have been an issue if Britt prepared a separate pan of veggies for her. But I think that with Alicia, the way that she came in, the way that she came across, it was like you were being a bit of bossy to tell someone how you want your food to be prepared. But this isn't a restaurant. And production, I got a question for you. When it came down to having these people live in the house for the 3 weeks, did you guys ask them what they prefer to eat? Did you ask them if they had any dietary restrictions or any substitutes of certain foods they can't eat and would prefer to eat? Because I don't think it would have been an issue if having you maybe prepare for yourself because you don't want nobody else touching your food the way you wanted them to touch. And that would have been the thing. Because I have a question for you, Alicia. When it's your turn to cook for the house, are you going to cook the food the way you assume people would like to eat, or will you cook it the way you prefer to eat? I'm just saying. I feel like sometimes Alicia is not mindful with the way she speaks to other people. And want everyone to be mindful of what you want, what you don't want, but you're not going to give yourself the opportunity to understand how other people might have different opinions about it. People have different reasons about it. Would you accept people having different opinions over how they prefer certain things, how they expect certain things too? So Brittany was telling Ty, like, "I understand how she was asking, but I want you to be mindful when talking to other women, especially other men's women, okay?" And he said, "Yeah, I get you, but I just don't like, people coming in and asking me more than what I'm already doing." So I can understand Ty's reasoning and Ty's feelings in the matter. And I can understand the way that Alicia could have felt like it was a bit too much on her for what she asked for. But then Alicia is walking away. She's feeling some type of way. She says she's up to the max about what took place from the activity. And now Ty barking at her. I'm like, I don't know if barking is the right word. I mean, you did come into the kitchen. You asked for a request. You gave an explanation. I don't know. Maybe it was your tone and you wasn't as approachable. That's why you got an attitude. And what's this up to the max stuff? Like, were you really that uncomfortable with what took place with the activity? Then why are you here? I understand you're supposed to come and break your fears, but if you really are not going to look at it as a lesson to see how you come across, then maybe you shouldn't be here. So she told Irvin about what happened, and he's listening to her, but he instantly thinks she was the aggressor in the situation because he has recognized how Alicia has talked to people, and he says she has a bit of a bossy tone, and I do believe that's true. And he said, just don't worry about it. Just let it go. Just let it go. I mean, she did admit she raised her voice in the kitchen, but what is this trigger you have about not coming into the kitchen? What does that mean? Because how are you going to be when it's your turn? Are you going to like not being in the kitchen? Like, are you going to be frustrated if someone asks you to prepare their meal a certain way, have them place their meals in a certain place? They don't like their food to touch. Like, how will you respond if someone gave you a request of how they want their food prepared? Would you be open or would you have the same reaction as Ty did? I just want to know. So, moving on from them, Alexis is feeling some type of way about what took place with the activity because she thinks that there's a disconnect between her and Chris because Chris was not operating on the same level as she was because she was sensual. She was, being very soft and gentle with him. And he was just rushing at times on certain parts of her body that she wanted him to go slow and he didn't do it. He says he didn't hear her. And he did his own thing, but that was him pretty much getting back at her for her doing her own thing. And he responded to her by saying, I mean, you didn't ask my permission for what you did to me. You just did it. So with you telling me how I didn't hear, I didn't. So with me not doing what you wanted me to do, I was being petty. So since you didn't do what I thought you would ask me to do, I didn't do what you wanted me to do. And Chris feels like in the activity was a red flag with how Alexis likes to control things. She likes to do what she wants to do. But he's not going to look at it as this is the deal breaker. I want to, express how I feel so we can move on from it so she can recognize it. But I don't know. It's given to me that Alexis likes to nitpick on things that are not a problem, but then she allows it to build up and then she goes on attack mode. Like she's looking at every single thing that he does is a sign that he's not into her, is a sign that he's not attracted to her. He doesn't want to do anything with her. Like she does that, and it's annoying as hell. Um, Chris made a good observation about he wants to stand on business to express to Alexis that I'm not a child. Do not speak to me like I'm a child. But because she is the older one in the relationship, she believes that she can just talk to him any type of way, treat him any type of way, and he's not supposed to be having a backbone and express to her, I don't like that. And I think that's what she wants. I think she wants somebody that is younger than her, that is impressionable, that can tolerate the way she treats them because that's what she wants. She wants to be the dominating one in the relationship. So Irving go upstairs to get something. Then he finds Alicia and Brandon doing yoga. He instantly gets upset because we get a flashback to Irvin asking Alicia last night, can they do yoga? She gave an excuse that she doesn't really be in the mood unless her body tells her to. And he wants to continue with being involved in things she enjoys doing. But the way that you just overlooked his feelings in the matter and thought what you did wasn't wrong because she said, I didn't know that was an issue. And I feel like you're telling me, but I'm not understanding why you're mad at me. I feel like it's an insecurity for you. And I'm like, wait, hold up now. Don't do that because that is a slap in the face. He wants to show up and be interested in what you like to do, and he wants to try for you. So the way you shot him down and did it with somebody else's man, that can be a slap in the face for him. And the way that she was trying to hurry up and apologize, but not really understand why she was apologizing, I'm like, are you kidding me right now? He told you why he felt this way. You should recognize what you did was wrong and apologize for it. So I don't know why that she was dismissing Irvin in this matter, but they have a ping pong reaction towards one another because he wants to be mindful of how she's not fully comfortable being physical, but I do think that Alicia is not aware of how she is with other people because she says she's open. She says she wants to bring peace and be around people with positive energy, but I feel like the energy you're giving off of is not being mindful. It's not being nice. It's not being soft. It's being bitchy. Like I don't think that Alicia is aware of how she comes across to other people. So moving on from there, and how is it, hold up, before I move on, how is it that you can be so willy-nilly to perform yoga with another person, but not with a person that you've been in a relationship with? I don't understand. Moving on. So everybody's at dinner, and I think Ty opened up with how did the activity make everybody feel? And if they started to express how they felt, and then Charlie and Jared made a look towards one another because this is the part of the plan that they had to reveal to everybody about she doesn't want to lie to anybody anymore. She probably has had conversations with the other ladies, possibly the men, about her life, and she's lied about only having one child. So she and Jared decides to step up and say, we have an announcement to make. Even though Jared felt like we don't need to tell anybody about our business, it should be between us, but Charlie doesn't want to be looked as a liar with everybody else. Sure. So they both revealed that he just had a 6-month-old baby boy and she just had a 1-month-old daughter. And she reveals on to say that she has 4 kids, knowing that she's told everybody she only's had one child. And Chris wants to say, oh, wow. Okay. Kudos. Congratulations. And then Chris, while everybody was clapping and saying congratulations, it was big of Jared to stick up for Charlie by saying she's my best friend and we'll figure it out. And I'm like, okay, kudos to you. But then when after dinner, all the couples kind of like, spread off and they had to talk about what took place at dinner because this was a big secret to reveal. And I was with Jay. She said, like, you applied on the show pregnant? Why would you do that? How do you do that? Who does that? And then Cinco added that you also have 2 additional children that you lied about. I have no idea why anybody would lie about that. And nobody's perfect. I know everybody on this cast got secrets. Hell, Kiki got secrets of her own that I cannot wait to get into because she is hesitant on telling Brandon what her secret is, and she's hopeful that it's not a deal breaker. But who's to say? It's not a deal breaker for Charlie and Jared. Moving on. So we got Tati and Clay. They go to the boom boom room, but it's not to have sex. It's just for them to spend some alone time, to cuddle. And the way that they're showing affection towards one another is a good sign. And as far as like moving forward with how their bond has been on camera as well as this in person, everything is going great. But no, Clay got his own secret too. He's gonna figure out how to tell Tati that he got a newborn as well. I said, what the fuck is this? How are y'all just creating children and lying that y'all created children? How do y'all do that? Like, who are y'all in relationships with while talking to these people? That makes no sense whatsoever. Newborn? Is it the same level of a newborn as Charlie? You literally just had a brand new baby a month ago, 2 weeks ago, 6 months ago. Like, who does this? Is everybody out here philandering, having children, and not being responsible to admit that they have children? Like, who does this type of shit? Moving on. So I don't know why, but Chris and Jared, they had a conversation to get his perspective on how to deal with Alexis, okay? Because then Chris puts on the trauma card that he's dealt with people constantly trying to control him. His mom was married several times, and every time she got married, she chose a man who wanted to control her. He didn't like it. He moved to Dallas to live with his father. His father was controlling. So once he got on his own, he realized I will not allow for anyone to control me. I'll never allow for anybody to control my situation, my life. That's not what I'm doing. So he thinks that Alexis is playing on the control factor, considering that they have had deep conversations about how he doesn't like being controlled. But Jared mentions that Alexis could have revealed she had a Jamaican father. who was controlling. He was like a drill sergeant, and you got to figure out how to manage it. You got to learn the triggers and express boundaries. But Chris is petty too, because you knew putting that big triangle rectangle sign of stop, meaning you didn't like the way that she didn't ask permission to touch you, so you weren't going to do what she wanted you to do. You were going to do your own thing, and was telling her, stop. The things that I won't do to you, don't think you can do it to me. I'm like, fine, 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 do what you do. But is this a real relationship though? Are you really physically attracted to Alexis? Or are you using her to be a part of a show? I just want to know. Because I ain't saying Alexis isn't gorgeous, isn't beautiful, but is Alexis your type that you are you wishing for another woman who is of your attractive level, that you will be okay with her controlling you or controlling certain parts of the relationship? Let me know. So moving on from there, we got Irvin deciding to talk to Alexis about how he has not been feeling great from their last conversation, because he expressed to her, you know how I wanted to be a part of you doing yoga. And then to find out that you did it with another person, I didn't interrupt you. But when you called me out about being insecure, it really bothered me. And he told her, you have kind of a way of flipping things where it's all on me, like I'm the reason. And I feel like you don't take accountability of what you've done. And I don't know with Alicia, okay? She just kept going on and on and on about she don't like angry energy, and then she's not feeling comfortable. She needs to be around people who can control their anger. And it's like, girl, what? Like, explain this to me. Like, she's acting like she did not understand where he was coming from. And he was telling her clear as day. Like, first of all, don't interrupt me, because I'm trying to express to you how it's making me feel with you trying to gaslight me into saying that I was in the wrong for calling you out for doing something that I thought me and you would do together. And then she goes on to say, well, I don't feel unsafe in this moment, so I don't know. And as soon as she said that, Irvin got up. And I'm happy he got up. Because what you're not trying to do, Alicia, is make it seem as if Irvin is putting you in a domestic environment where he's planning to harm you, when all he's doing is trying to talk to you. And you don't want to be held accountable with the way you've handled things. So he knows this for a fact. When a woman tells you she feels unsafe in a situation, you walk away. So that way she can't place anything on you as far as you trying to invade her space without permission. You're trying to get on her face and this and that and the third. I ain't gonna have that put on me. And I'm just like, if Alicia is so surrounded by her energy that she's not aware of how her energy comes across to other people, because she is solely focused on how she needs to be sure that she's in a comfortable environment, but she makes these uncomfortable with other people and don't recognize it. Like, I don't like that at all, Alicia, that you have a very self-absorbed identity for me, that you think that the way you come across, people are just going to get it. But when they tell you how you come across, you don't get it. So I'm happy he walked away, and he said, I want to make sure you feel protected, because that's what you said, right? And Irvin said that they've had disagreements over the phone, but it's never been to this extreme. And he don't know how everything is going to be able to be cool from this point. So I hope that next week maybe they'll talk to the therapist that's included in the show, because I don't understand Alicia. I think Alicia is manipulative. I think Alicia is a gaslighter, and I think that she likes to switch situations when she knows she's doing things that are unnecessary but don't like being called out on it. So she pulls on the, I don't like this feeling, I don't like this energy, but it's simple conversations that doesn't have to be uh a moment where you're doing all of this. And I understand that Irvin did have a heightened tone where he was sounding accusatory, but he had a reason and he was explaining it to her, and she didn't want to understand. She didn't want to accept anything. So hopefully by next week we can find out why she is the way that she is. It's more than just her condition. It's something else. So again, I'm going to say, Alicia, for you to have all of these expectations and demands, this is not the show you should have agreed to come on. But that's it. That's all. I ain't got no more to say. Please stay tuned for my next view, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.